Today we are going to talk on how to integrate ethics and values in our education. The national education policy endeavors to put India in the front rank of knowledge bearing nations, and it has also set out the target to make India a universal knowledge hub. However, besides integrating quality and innovativeness in higher education, one of the major issues is how to integrate ethics and values in the conduct and behavior of the students. These days, a number of credit courses have been incorporated, like professional ethics and human values, like ethics in management, ethics in engineering, etc. Students secure very good marks in all these papers, but the major challenge is how to integrate these ethics and values in their conduct and behavior after they enter into the practical life. And therefore, various pedagogical interventions or new teaching learning approaches have to be used. And various pedagogies, transformational pedagogies do focus on changing the value system of the students. But for that, we have to use a number of moral stories, and we have to use a number of indoor games, outdoor games, etc. And basically, values are also very diverse, right from teamwork to compassionate to have environmental values and ethics and several other issues. And therefore, with respect to every set of or every vertical of the value system, we have to devise unique moral stories and unique course contents. We have to devise various indoor and outdoor games, etc. For example, when we see that when in Africa the teachers realize that their students have fierce competition and they lack any kind of cooperation inter se themselves, and therefore they just conducted an experiment of Ubuntu Goji. Ubuntu in African language means we are together. So actually the teacher took the students on a picnic, and then that teacher took a basket of full of toffees and hanged them from a tree, and took the students further, and then asked whoever would be reaching that basket earliest, he would or she would be having right to all those toffees. And the students were briefed by someone else that we have to go together. So all the students held their hands together, and they ran together, and they took out the toffees and they shared. So they started their race with the slogan that we are together, Ubuntu. So this Ubuntu Goji has been evolved as a teaching and learning approach or a pedagogy which can make the students cooperative or reciprocal to each other. Likewise, there are various other transformational pedagogies. In a brief interview, it would not be possible to elaborate all such pedagogical interventions. But say, for example, when in past there used to be moral stories. These days, most of the writers do write various fictions from the point of view of pragmatic approach. But actually, we have to think of ideal approach. What kind of society we do want to make. So today, most of the fictions, they are highly not only pragmatic, but even sometimes there may be some aberrations on the periphery of the society. They portray them as they are on the center stage of the society. It's not proper way. Rather, for example, there were writers who used to cultivate values through their stories. Idealistic writers, whom we call Adarshvadi Lekhak, we have seen, say for example, many of us would have read stories like there was a mother and son, both were hungry for last 2 days, and suddenly they got a wallet of someone. They thought that this wallet is having enough money, we can just pull on for next 2 to 3 months. But then they say it is a sin, we should not keep anybody else's money. Later on, again, they think that first we have to take care of our physical needs, and ultimately, after a lot of argument among between both mother and son, they ultimately decide to find out the actual owner of that wallet, and they return that wallet to that person. So, moral of the story is that whoever, if any child or anyone would read such a story, he would cultivate those kind of values, and therefore, I think it requires a lot of effort to incorporate various transformational pedagogies into our curriculum. However, it would not be out of place to mention that present day education suffers from four lacunae. As I have already mentioned, that education has failed to ingrain ethics and values in the conduct and behavior of the students. At the same time, education is also getting more and more disjunct from our national ethos. On the other hand, if we see, India has long tradition of ancient wisdom and civilization antiquities, but they are also not there in our curriculum. So the third major lacuna, which I do feel, is that present day education is disjunct from our national ethos. And I think the biggest and foremost lacuna of education in India is there is lack of quality and innovativeness. For example, when we see every year Chinese scholars apply for 15 lakh international patent applications, while Indian scholars apply for around 50,000 or 52,000 international patent applications, and this is reflected in the overall manufacturing of the two countries. China has 28.4% share in world manufacturing. India has 3% share in world manufacturing. The same is reflected in the patent applications also. So, to sum up, I would like to mention that present day education has to take care of four lacunae. One is to improve quality and innovativeness of education. Another one is to integrate national ethos with our education. Third one is to incorporate our rich knowledge heritage into the curricula. And fourth one is to use those pedagogical interventions which can integrate ethics and values in the conduct and behavior of the students.